It was a highly anticipated live talk show when Clint Eastwood made his entrance. The host, Mark Williams, was known for his outspoken views on politics and culture, often leaning towards a more progressive standpoint. As Clint sat down across from him, Mark couldn't help but make a comment about Clint's age, implying that older generations were out of touch with the modern world. "You know, Clint, times have changed. The world today is different. People are more woke, more aware, and more accepting," Mark began, his tone laced with superiority. Clint, calm and collected, leaned back in his chair, his piercing eyes never leaving the host's face. Mark continued, eager to provoke a reaction. "You've been in Hollywood for decades, but surely you must have seen how the industry is evolving, right? It's all about inclusivity and progressive values now." Clint, always the master of composure, raised an eyebrow. "Well, Mark, I've seen a lot of things change, but I don't think the world should be changing at the expense of common sense." The studio audience went silent, sensing that something big was about to unfold. Clint's cool demeanor seemed to be challenging the host's assumptions. Asterisk, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments below, asterisk. Mark, not expecting this kind of response, tried to push back. "But Clint, you've got to admit, the world is evolving. People are demanding equality, fairness, and justice in ways that were never done before. It's time for everyone to adapt." Clint's expression didn't change. He simply looked at Mark and said, "I don't have a problem with people wanting fairness, but let's not lose sight of what truly matters. Just because someone calls something woke doesn't mean it's right. There's a fine line between progress and getting carried away with things that don't make any sense." Mark chuckled nervously, not ready to back down. "So, you don't think that things like diversity in Hollywood and pushing for equal rights are important?" Clint shook his head slowly. "Of course they are. But pushing an agenda just to fit in isn't the same as truly supporting something meaningful. And if you're just trying to be part of a trend instead of standing for something you truly believe in, then that's where things go wrong." The audience started to murmur, and Clint's words hung in the air. He had taken a simple conversation about change and turned it into a powerful commentary on the difference between genuine progress and simply following a trend. Asterisk, what do you think of Clint's response? Let us know in the comments below, asterisk. Mark, clearly caught off guard by Clint's response, tried to steer the conversation in a different direction. "So, are you saying that you think people should stop fighting for a more inclusive society? That we should just go back to how things were before?" Clint leaned forward slightly, his tone firm but measured. "What I'm saying is that you can fight for equality, but not by tearing down the things that have worked for generations. The world has been through a lot of changes over the years, and the key is understanding and adapting, not forcing things into a box that doesn't fit." Mark, who had been expecting a confrontation, found himself in an uncomfortable silence. He couldn't argue with Clint's logic, but he wasn't about to admit defeat on live television. "I still think that being woke is important, Clint. Don't you think we should encourage younger generations to be aware of social issues?" Clint, without missing a beat, responded, "Being aware of social issues is important, but being forced to walk on eggshells all the time and pretending that everyone's offended by everything is not the answer. We need balance, not extremism." The audience erupted into applause, and Clint leaned back in his chair with a small smile. It was clear that he had won the crowd's support. Asterisk, do you agree with Clint? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, asterisk. Mark, now visibly flustered, tried to regain control of the interview, but Clint's calm confidence had already shifted the tone of the conversation. "Clint, are you saying that all these movements for justice and equality are just extreme?" Mark asked, now desperate for a way to twist Clint's words. Clint, never one to shy away from an honest answer, replied, "No, what I'm saying is that justice and equality are important, but let's not lose ourselves in the process. People have been fighting for equality for decades, and we've made progress. But we can't let the pendulum swing too far in the other direction. We need to find a balance that doesn't undermine what we've already achieved." The audience sat in stunned silence for a moment, absorbing his words. Clint's wisdom, honed over decades of experience, was cutting through the noise of modern discourse. "We need to stop thinking that everything is a battle and start thinking about how we can work together to build something better," Clint continued. "It's about progress, not division." Mark, struggling to come up with a response, finally just nodded awkwardly. The show had taken an unexpected turn, and it was clear that Clint had won this round. Do you think Clint is right about balance? Let us know in the comments below. As the interview wrapped up, Clint stood to leave, offering a brief, polite handshake to Mark. The host, still stunned by Clint's calm yet powerful rebuttals, managed to mumble, "Thanks for coming on, Clint. I guess you really know how to shut things down." Clint, with a half-smile, replied, "Sometimes, it's not about shutting things down. It's about showing people another way to think." The camera crew started packing up, and Mark, still trying to process everything that had just happened, stared at Clint as he walked off set. The whole interview had been a masterclass in how to handle tough questions with grace, wisdom, and humor. Clint Eastwood had not only stood up for his beliefs, but he had done so in a way that made his points impossible to ignore. As the show ended, viewers took to social media, praising Clint's honesty and straightforwardness, while questioning the ideas of a woke culture that had been pushed in recent years. The impact of Clint's words had clearly left a mark. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.